we've got a question of the week. I told Frosty Kitten that I would address this. Will this setup work, newbie at tying knots? And it's that white one is the picture that they included. I included that black picture because I'm a fan of a better presentation, tying the line straight to the hook. I'll let you guys have a run at that. What are your thoughts on their presentation for this? Will it work?
Okay, if you're going after little like bluegills and stuff like that, and you put a hunk of worm on there or something, yeah, put a split shot above it, it'll probably work. But if you're like trying to go after bass or any fish with a little bit of intelligence and might be spooked because they're fish locked, all that contraption I don't know about. And if you're going after anything big, I don't know if I trust that little wire to hold that. You know what I mean?
True.
So
I've
it's
had
always
those
based on, what are you going after? What's your goal here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say you could catch any kind of freshwater species with that and a worm.
Sturgeon?
I don't know about sturgeon, but
You said any freshwater.
well, any freshwater fish that I've ever caught.
Okay. 50-pound flathead catfish?
I've never caught a flathead.
Okay, blue cat, 50-pound blue cat.
I've caught blue cats on freaking crappie jigs before.
Yeah. You got to really work it though to get them
Dude,
in.
when we were in Michigan, I got one on I was throwing a crankbait or something. I forget what it was.
I mean, it was channel cat, yeah.
Oh, channel cat. Okay. I don't know the difference. They're all hard heads to me.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're going to try to catch some bluegill or something, if that's a small hook and a small, I don't know. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Knots are so easy to learn. There's all kinds of tutorials online. And the knots you need for basic little fish stuff are just super easy.
Shit. Then
We have a whole article in the Discord server that's like all my favorite knots, and it's like 10 or 12 long, and it includes boat knots like you're bowling. It includes knots for tying onto a hook or tying onto a lure, tying leader to. We have a whole thing real easy to get on there. Once you learn it, you're fine. Like if you just learn the Palomar knot, the presentation is going to be so much better if you just avoid that little clip. Now the clip is great if you need to switch stuff out quick and often, but really you need to focus on presentation. You need to learn just tying that knot onto the hook, do it a lot, and just get in the practice of doing it over and over and over again, because you will catch more fish and better fish doing that.
And like Ben said, pick a few knots and practice.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
There's like 50 different knots that you could see for fishing. Just same thing. There's probably 4 knots. I can do just about everything I want to do with those 4 knots, right? So just find a few for how you want, attaching hooks, you start going line to line, then they get more complicated, but they're really easy to learn and practice. That's part of the fun of it. You can walk away with, I tied that damn knot.
That's a part of the fishing thing. That's a really big part, a big underappreciated part of fishing is tying knots.
Yeah. What would you call simply just making 3 going in 3 times? Just 1, 2, 3, and pulling it down on your hook. Is that a knot that you've ever done?
That's a stitch knot, right?
That's that's called like a surgical knot, right?
I don't have a clue.
I use that for my drop shots. It's if you do 2 of those, you can actually tie a drop shot in your line and cut it so that you don't have the loop in your line.
I'll say if you take it through once and then take it through the opposite direction the second time, that's a square knot, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
But a buddy of mine, that's all he does is 3 loops. 3, just through itself 3 times. I mean, that's how he ties everything.
Mm-hmm.
For like crappie and stuff like that,
Or
look to
bass.
the eye, come up, and then that make a loop with what you have now, the tag in and the main line, and then go do the same thing 3 times back through that loop, pull it tight. It's a simple cinch knot, and I'm not going to use that on the coast, but for crappie, bluegill, bass, it works just fine.
Yeah.
Oh, like I said, I use it for a similar one, the surgical knot. I used to do my drop shots for even bigger fish, like redfish. Not a big. If I'm going for a bull red, I'm not going to use that one. But for slot red, I'll do it. My thoughts.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Danny said, if you're bait fishing, you don't really need to change the hook out much anyway. That hook that you're using, by the way, is a live bait hook, and like that's the exact hook that I use for sheep's head down here. It's because it's got that short shank, it does hide the bait better. But really, that's one of the valuable things about the short shank hook like that is that you can hide your bait. But that the problems that everybody's talking about here is that you have that clip and you have that swivel, and that is so much stuff on the end of your line that a wary predator is going to see that, and they will get line shy, and they might avoid biting your bait if they see it.
And you newbie at tying knots, but there's a knot tied to the swivel.
True.
So just get the swivel and clip out of the way and tie that knot to the hook, and boom.
Simplify things. Yeah, I agree. Hope that helps. If you have any more questions about that, keep the questions coming. We're happy to bring it back up and have fun with this. I enjoy these conversations.